So, hello everybody, I'm William. Welcome to Latitude. So today we're going to take a little bit of a look at a new concept we're introducing called the AI reliability loop. This is the result of our seeing thousands of product teams have been having consistent issues with implementing prompts in their systems, with writing prompts and keeping those prompts reliable. So what the AI reliability loop seeks to do is solve that issue. Now, let me introduce you to a little bit of the structure of this AI reliability loop. So, generally, there are 5 steps here. So the first step in the process is to see how your AI behaves. So we need to make sure we have production or testing logs to play with to see how the AI behaves. Now, the next step is where we have an expert come in the sector, be it you or be it another person that understands the product really well and what it should output. And they're going to go in and they're going to look at those logs and annotate each of them. And the annotation process we'll explain in depth later. But the annotation process essentially consists of finding your problems with the logs and writing them down. With those, we're going to find failure patterns. Failure patterns are discovered automatically as you annotate more and more responses. These categories are created automatically, and you are going to see how your logs are shoved into different categories corresponding to the type of errors that they're producing. After that, we're going to build evaluations. On top of that, the essential use of building evaluations is to get a better idea of the global impact of these issues. And finally, with all that in mind and understanding the gravity of the situation of each of the issues, we're going to be able to iterate upon the prompt and fix it. And then finally, the cycle continues throughout the development process of the product and throughout its lifetime. All right, so now let's move on and see how the AI reliability loop works in action. So, taking a prompt we have here, we'll briefly explain what this prompt is, and we're going to explain how we can apply the AI reliability loop to improve it. So, right here, we have a feature prioritizer. It's a single prompt. We're using ChatGPT 5 Mini. We have a short description of this agent. This is an agent that analyzes feature requests and assigns priority levels with intentional bugs for testing. So in this scenario, we're imagining that we're a language learning application. That's important to have in context when we get to the annotation part. Cool. This prompt has one tool, which is log priority decision. This is what is essentially a client tool. And the task here is to assign new feature requests into the corresponding categories of importance: P0, P1, P2, and P3. This is the system message. And here we have the user message, which contains the feature request as a variable. So if this were a running prompt in production, we would already have logs. If we were just testing, we could create, for example, a data set and run an experiment and produce a bunch of logs for that. So once we have logs, we can move on to the second part of the AI reliability loop, which is annotation. So to begin annotation, what we're going to do is go over here to runs, and you'll see all of the runs that correspond to your project. You either see production runs or playground runs. Production runs are those that have been run in production, and playground runs are those that correspond to experiments or the preview setting. So to begin annotating, we're going to go over and we're going to click a log. And we'll be able to see all of the information that corresponded to that run. Here we have the variable information, feature request. Offline mode doesn't download everything. I can't access the grammar lessons on planes. Fix this. And then we have the run itself. So we see that it thought here. We have a log priority decision. And we have the output. Now this is the part where we need to take domain expertise. So we need to understand what it is that we want our prompt to do to understand how we can annotate this and how we can make it better, for example. So here, I'm thinking that when I want an output, I want it to be the contents of this tool call. I don't want the AI to invent all of these fields of information. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to give it a thumbs down, and I'm going to write the feedback. Once we have all of that, we can leave it there because we have selected auto discover issue here, and we'll actually cluster these into groupings without you having to do anything. So we just continue this process for a bunch of our runs until we've captured an idea of what the issues are with our prompt. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a bunch of annotations off camera, and we'll be right back. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've done a bunch of annotations. We have a bunch of negative ones here. We have one positive one. And now we have more or less of an idea of the types of issues that we're seeing. I've gone in as a domain expert and I've said, I don't like this, that, and the other. All right. So now when we do this, automatically we're creating issues. Those issues are going to appear right here in the issues section. So if we go here, we'll see that we have 8 issues created. And now these issues are actually organized by how many events are associated with them. So you can see with all the annotations we did, we have 30 events tied to this one, incorrect and overly complex JSON formatting for tool call data. And then we also have 5 events going into incorrect feature priority assigned instead of highest priority. We have a couple of issues, and so this brings us into the next step in our AI reliability loop, which is issue discovery. So now what should we do? We should go here, and if we determine that an issue is serious enough or present enough to require further observation, what we're going to do is we're going to create an evaluation for that. Now, the evaluations are going to allow us to see how these are affecting us at a larger scale with all of our logs in production or in practice. Every single time we run the prompt, there will be an associated evaluation with that prompt. That's going to give us a lot better understanding than just annotating, for example, 20 logs. And so as an example, let's create an evaluation for our top issue here, which we have 30 events. It's actually marked here as an escalating issue, which means it's quite severe. Let's take a look at the issue, understand it a little bit, and then we're going to go and we're going to create an evaluation. So if incorrect and overly complex JSON formatting for tool call data, the response correctly prioritizes information from the tool call but presents it in an incorrectly formatted and needlessly complex JSON structure. The output should be simplified to include only essential details from the tool call with proper JSON formatting. Okay, so below here we have all the associated logs. We're going to go in and we're going to be able to take a deeper look to understand exactly how we are going to be making these evaluations. I think I have a pretty good idea, so I think we can head right over to making the evaluations. We go over to your prompt, and then we're going to go up here to the evaluation section. So if you go to evaluations, you'll see that you already have a feedback evaluation, which is of the type human in the loop. And this is actually what you were using to create your annotations. So if you click on this, we can actually see that. We can go to settings, and within settings, we can see that annotation controls are turned on. That's what's going to enable us to do annotations. Now, the type of evaluation that we're going to be doing here is different. So if we go over here to add evaluation, we'll see that within the create a new evaluation section, we have 3 types of evaluations. We have programmatic rule, LLM as judge, and human in the loop. Now, we've already discussed what a human in the loop evaluation is. It's basically a human going there and saying, do I like this or not, and explaining why perhaps. Programmatic evaluations are more deterministic. They're looking for a specific set of programmatically defined conditions. Finally, we have LLM as a judge evaluations. LLM as a judge evaluation is what we're doing in this case. We're going to have an LLM there looking at the output of our prompt and deciding whether it's correct or not, depending on the criteria that we give it. So if you remember, generally, what we're going to be doing for this specific case is looking if the JSON is of the correct structure. So to create the LLM as judge evaluation, what we need to do is fill in a couple pieces of information. You can see that by default, we already have here in name accuracy. We're going to be changing the name, description, criteria, past description, and fail description. Those are the only fields that are absolutely necessary for this. Additionally, we need to pick a provider and a model. This is us picking what LLM is going to be evaluating the output. In this case, let's just pick OpenAI and a small model. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in all these pieces of information. So once we have all those pieces of information in there, we can go over here to advanced configuration. And what we're going to do is actually connect this evaluation with the issue that is pertinent to it. So we go over here, scroll down, and find the section that says link issue. And we're going to click here, and we're going to link it to the name of the issue that we created this evaluation for, which in this case is incorrect and overly complex JSON formatting for tool call data. So once we have all of that done, we can go ahead and create the evaluation. Now, once we've created that evaluation, we're going to be brought to the evaluation page. And as runs come in, we're actually going to see them pop up here, and we'll be able to see if they pass or fail this evaluation. And actually, all of those runs that failed are going to go directly into the Issues tab under the corresponding issue. So that's kind of the cool part about this. We don't really have to worry about it after this, and then we get to see the stats come in for each of the issues as time goes on, and we can really understand the impact of the certain issues and what we need to touch up in the prompt to make sure that those issues are reduced. So now that we've indicated issues and we've created evaluation for these and we've decided which are the most impactful issues that we have, We're going to refine our prompt to eliminate these issues. With evaluations, we can see whether our prompt still has that issue or whether it's been successfully eliminated. So that's one of the cool things here. And then, along with this, we always recommend that when you have a version of the prompt that you're satisfied with or that you've made major changes to, we can always go up here and we can hit publish a new version, which is going to save these changes that we've made. And then if we save that, we can actually go up and we can create a new version for any new changes we have so that we can always revert to an older form of the prompt to undo any changes that we made. Or if we were more satisfied, for example, in the past before making changes, we can always go back to a point of the prompt we were happier with. So thanks for being here, and I hope you guys have fun improving your prompts. Take care.